Failure. Just hearing the word might make your stomach sink. It's that heavy, dreaded feeling we all try to avoid. We build our lives around avoiding it, don't we? We chase success, accolades, and the validation that comes with achieving our goals. But what if I told you that everything you thought you knew about failure was wrong? What if I told you that failure, yes, that thing we're all so afraid of, is actually the key to unlocking your greatest potential? It's true. Because in the depths of our failures, in those moments when we feel like giving up, lies an incredible power. It's the power to rise above, to learn, to grow, and to become more than we ever thought possible. So let's reframe our relationship with failure, shall we? Let's explore why it's not something to fear, but rather the best thing that could ever happen to you. But here's where it gets interesting. Failure doesn't stop you, it propels you. You see, every single one of us, we create these boundaries in our minds. We tell ourselves what we can and cannot do, often based on fear and past experiences. But failure? Failure shatters those limitations. It's like taking a sledgehammer to a glass ceiling. Think about a climber gripping the side of a mountain. They slip, they fall, but they don't give up. They get back up and try again. Each attempt pushes them further. That's what failure does for us. It redefines our limits and propels us forward. Now let's talk about why failure is the ultimate test of resilience. Life is tough. It throws curveballs when we least expect it, knocks us down, and tests our spirit. But it's in those moments of falling down, of facing adversity, that we discover the true strength within ourselves. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. They wobble, they fall, they might even scrape their knees. But do they stay on the ground defeated? No. They get back up, their eyes filled with determination, and they try again, and again, and again. Until finally they're soaring down the sidewalk, the wind in their hair, the feeling of accomplishment radiating through them. That, my friends, is resilience. It's the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to weather the storms, and to come out stronger on the other side. And it's a quality that's built, not born. It's forged in the fires of our failures. J.K. Rowling, the brilliant mind behind the Harry Potter series, faced rejection after rejection. Can you imagine that? 12 publishers told her no. 12. They told her that her story wouldn't sell, that children wouldn't be interested. But she didn't give up. She persevered, fueled by her passion and belief in her work. And the rest, as they say, is history. Imagine if she had given up after the first rejection, or the 5th, or even the 11th. The world would have been robbed of the magic she created. Oprah Winfrey, for example, was fired from her first television job for being unfit for TV. That failure redirected her toward building a media empire that aligned with her passion for storytelling and empowering others. What seemed like a crushing defeat was, in reality, the best thing that could have happened to her. So embrace your failures, my friends. Let them toughen you up, build your resilience, and fuel your determination. Because when you learn to bounce back, there's no obstacle you can't overcome. This brings us to a crucial question. What happens when failure forces you to innovate? We live in a world that often celebrates the finished product, the overnight success, the seemingly effortless triumph. But what we don't see are the countless hours of hard work, the setbacks, the failures that pave the way. Because the truth is, some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born out of failure. Think about the Wright brothers. Can you imagine if they had given up after their first crash landing? We might not have airplanes today, but they didn't. They saw each failed attempt not as a defeat, but as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to improve their design. Or consider the story of Airbnb. The founders, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, were struggling to make ends meet. They had this crazy idea to rent out air mattresses on their living room floor during a design conference. It wasn't exactly a roaring success at first. They faced rejection, financial struggles, and countless obstacles, but they didn't give up. They listened to their failures, they adapted their approach, and they kept innovating. And today, Airbnb is a global phenomenon, revolutionizing the way we travel and experience the world. Necessity is the mother of invention, but failure is often its catalyst. When plans crumble, you're forced to think differently, to approach problems with a fresh perspective. Failure nudges you to innovate, to pivot, and to find solutions you might never have considered otherwise. Failure has this incredible way of pushing us to think outside the box, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to come up with creative solutions we never would have considered otherwise. It's in those moments of what now that our most innovative ideas are often born. Speaking of humility, failure also has a way of teaching empathy. Success can be a wonderful thing. It can boost our confidence, validate our hard work, and fill us with a sense of accomplishment. But it can also, if we're not careful, create distance between ourselves and others. It can make us forget what it's like to struggle, to fall short, to be human. Success can sometimes breed arrogance. Failure, on the other hand, humbles us and keeps us grounded. It reminds us that we're human, fallible, and constantly learning. It reminds us that we are all works in progress, perfectly imperfect beings navigating this journey called life. This humility fosters empathy, helping us connect with others who are struggling. And in that shared experience of imperfection, we find connection. Failure teaches us to approach life with an open heart, to support others on their journeys, and to find strength in shared vulnerability. When we've tasted failure, we're more likely to extend a hand to those who are struggling, to offer words of encouragement, to understand the weight of their burdens. We become more empathetic partners, more compassionate friends, more understanding human beings. Think about a time when you experienced a setback. Did you reach out to someone who had been through something similar? Did you find comfort in their words of wisdom, in knowing that you weren't alone in your struggles? Failure has this incredible way of breaking down the walls we build around ourselves and fostering a sense of community. It reminds us that we're all in this together, that we need each other's support, and that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Open up about a failure you faced in the comments section. Inspire others by showing them they're not alone. But failure isn't just about resilience. It's about redefining your purpose. Failure refines your purpose. Sometimes, in the grand tapestry of life, failure is a redirection. Sometimes failure isn't just a bump in the road, it's a signpost pointing you in a new direction. It's a gentle nudge from the universe, a course correction guiding us towards our true calling. It's like taking a wrong turn on a road trip. At first, you might feel frustrated, lost even. But then, you stumble upon a hidden gem, a scenic overlook you never would have discovered had you stayed on the main highway. When you fail, you're forced to ask hard questions. Was this really what I wanted? Was I pursuing this for the right reasons? These moments of introspection can lead to profound clarity about your true purpose. Oprah Winfrey, for example, was fired from her first television job for being unfit for TV. That failure redirected her toward building a media empire that aligned with her passion for storytelling and empowering others. What seemed like a crushing defeat was, in reality, the best thing that could have happened to her. But looking back, that failure was the catalyst for her to step into her purpose, to create a platform where she could connect with people on a deeper level, to empower others to live their best lives. Sometimes, failure is life's way of saying, "This isn't quite right. Let's try a different path." It forces us to reevaluate our priorities, to ask ourselves those tough questions. Am I truly fulfilled? Is this path aligned with my values, my passions, my purpose? And sometimes the answers might lead us in a completely different direction, one that we never would have imagined for ourselves, but one that ultimately leads to greater fulfillment and joy. Let's shift gears and explore how failure fuels personal growth. Failure fuels personal growth. We all want to grow, to evolve, to become the best versions of ourselves. But here's the thing about growth. It rarely happens in our comfort zones. That is right. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the crucible of adversity. Failure forces you to confront your fears, develop new skills, and expand your capacity for perseverance. Each failure equips you with tools for future success. Growth happens when we're challenged, when we're pushed to our limits, when we're forced to confront our weaknesses and rise above them. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. Do they become champions by taking it easy, by staying within their comfort zones? No, they push themselves to the brink. They embrace the pain of training. They fall down and get back up countless times. Athletes understand this well. Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, and countless others have all spoken about the role of failure in their careers. For them, every missed shot, every lost match was an opportunity to analyze, adapt, and improve. Their greatness was forged in the fires of failure. Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, has experienced her fair share of defeats. But she didn't let those losses define her. She used them as fuel, as motivation to train harder, to improve her game, to come back stronger than ever before. Each failure, each setback, is an opportunity for growth. It's a chance to learn new skills, to gain valuable experience, to develop resilience and mental toughness. It's in those moments of struggle that we discover our true potential and emerge as stronger, wiser, more capable individuals. And that's where the magic of a mindset shift comes into play. Embracing failure as a mindset. To harness the power of failure, you must change how you perceive it. So how do we do it? How do we shift our perspective from fearing failure to embracing it as a catalyst for growth? It starts with a simple but profound mindset shift. It's about changing the narrative we tell ourselves about failure, about reframing it as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Instead of beating ourselves up when we fall short, let's approach failure with a sense of curiosity. Let's ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback as an opportunity to grow? Surround yourself with stories of resilience, with people who have embraced failure as a stepping stone to success. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries about individuals who have overcome incredible odds to achieve their dreams. Remember, you are not alone in your struggles. Every successful person has faced their fair share of setbacks. It's how they responded to those setbacks, how they used them as fuel for growth, that ultimately determined their success. Study the lives of individuals who turned failures into triumphs. Their journeys will remind you that failure is not the opposite of success, but a crucial part of it. So embrace your failures, my friends. Wear them as badges of honor, as reminders of your resilience, your determination, your capacity for growth. Because in the grand tapestry of life, it's often the threads of failure that create the most beautiful, intricate, and meaningful patterns. Finally, give yourself permission to fail. The fear of failure often holds us back more than failure itself. By embracing failure, you unlock the courage to take risks, to dream bigger, and to live boldly and fearlessly. Take 5 minutes today to write down one failure that impacted you deeply. Ask yourself, what lessons did I learn from it? How has it shaped who I am today? Before we wrap up, let's reflect on this powerful truth about failure. Here's something you might not have considered. Failure as a roadmap to success. Your extraordinary story starts now. Failure is not the end of your story. It's just the beginning. It's a chance to rewrite the script, to redefine what's possible, to create a future that's even brighter than you ever imagined. Failure is not a detour, it's the path. It's the uncomfortable yet transformative process that shapes you into the person you're meant to be. Without failure, there's no growth, no innovation, no discovery. So the next time you encounter a setback, remember this. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you know. And you have the power to turn your failures into triumphs. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's build a community of support, of resilience, of individuals who are committed to embracing failure as a catalyst for growth. Remember, failure is just the beginning of your extraordinary story.